So we're back for another preview show, Matty, ahead of another home game this weekend. It's Old Brods who are the visitors to Silver Royd. Matty, just sort of, you've had a couple of days now to sort of digest what happened on Saturday and the impressive performance against Pocklington. What was your main takeaway from the game?
I think our defense, I think the will to kind of defend our line for that first kind of 15 or so kind of minutes. The boys didn't give up anything easy. So I know we spoke about it last week at Morley. They were hard on our line for about 10 minutes or so, and we gave up a try. And we spoke about that in those kind of circumstances, if you're under that much kind of pressure, you usually kind of leak a try. And the week just gone, the lads went under probably 15, 20 minutes of kind of pressure, and we didn't leak anything, not even a penalty. So that was a huge kind of take and a huge confidence boost for the lads. And as we said, like if you can kind of sustain that and go and kind of get points of your own, it's pretty demoralising to other kind of teams. So that was a huge kind of huge takeaway from the game for us.
Yeah, and of course something that doesn't happen as often as you'd expect, but we did spend a good period of time with 13 men and then 14 men. It was quite a scrappy game, Matty, but for your side to still manage to get out of that game without conceding any real points, that must be real positive for you.
Yeah, exactly. But we're just putting ourselves under pressure. We're just doing kind of silly things off the ball after the whistle. Probably just kind of like baited into kind of like just that kind of niggly kind of game. We didn't really need to. We knew that the ref was going to ref it like that in the first half with a couple of those yellow cards, and we kind of persisted in the second half thinking that we could probably get away with it, and we didn't, and unfortunately, yeah. So we went down to 13, but still not to concede with 13 players. It's a monumental kind of defensive effort.
And we, of course, as I mentioned at the start, welcome Old Brods to Silver Royd. Now, I have to take it back a couple of months since we last played Old Brods. It was a 54-10 defeat, Matty, in October. A tough game when we went to Old Brods. They've kind of dropped off a little bit from where they were. They're on a run of 3 straight defeats, but it's going to be another tough game. They're going to come to Silver Royd looking to cause a bit of an upset.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I'm still, even with their kind of 3 defeats, they're still sitting in that kind of top end of the table, or that top 4 or 5. And they've done well throughout the season to kind of put themselves there. So we know that they're only kind of 1 or 2 kind of weeks away, and a few kind of players coming back from injury and everything else, that they're going to be right back to kind of whereabouts they are. So we know that obviously no matter who they're going to put out, it's going to be a dominant outfit. And we know the way that kind of the Old Brods kind of play after kind of being back and playing them a few kind of months. And we'll learn from that game up at their kind of place. And we need to make sure that we're a lot better and we hold on to our ball and make sure we don't kind of kick anything or give anything away, because they've got some good kind of pace out wide and at the back that are going to counter-attack. And so, yes, we just have to be a lot more kind of smarter without the ball.
And for those who haven't seen the league table, we're obviously in 7th position. Old Brods in 4th. There's 18 points separating us and Old Brods. But having said that, Brods have played 3 more games than we have. So we're sat in 7th, having only played 14 games this year. I mean, Matty, you'll have taken a lot away from that game away at Old Brods and what they will offer. But if your side put in a performance like they did on Saturday, there's no reason why you can't come away with the full points.
Yeah, that's right. We say it week on week. There's the performance that we're after each kind of week, and the standards that we set ourselves are very kind of high. And what we've kind of done over the last kind of few weeks has been kind of fantastic. But we shut the door on the Sunday. We start again on the Tuesday, and then we build Thursday into Saturday. So we need to make sure that we're still kind of pushing each other, each and every one of us as individuals and as a team. And we make sure that we're kind of still going in that right kind of direction and the right path. And
how did training go on Tuesday, Max? I know you'll have a session on Thursday as well. I presume the lads have come through that pretty well. We've not really got many on the injury table at the moment, so the lads must be enjoying it, being fit and healthy and training every week, ready for games on Saturday.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, we took it pretty light. Obviously, when you've kind of have a tough physical kind of derby game like that on the Saturday, and the work that the lads kind of put in, We took it kind of fairly kind of light. We looked at kind of a few kind of little areas where we need to try and just get a little bit better. But the lads enjoy those kind of things because we take it outside our kind of comfort zones, and I kind of test them a little bit and see what they kind of come up with. And those kind of trainings are sometimes the better kind of trainings as well, where we probably talk a little bit more than what we kind of actually train. So yes, it was a good session last night, and we know that hopefully we're going to have a good run through tomorrow night.
And fingers crossed, of course, the team that's been released today will stay the same. Matty, you've had quite a decent unchanged side-ish for the last couple of weeks. Joe Nellis, Jordan Holloway and Sam Dawson are in the front row. Luke Brown is there. Phil Watson comes in for Will Renard. Ewan and Drew Govier, of course, and Dylan Robinson. Alex Rowley's at 9. Tom Radcliffe at 10. Tom Makin comes in on the wing. Aaron Wilson and Joe Marshall in the centre. Then Harry Domet goes to the other side on the wing. Pat Roberts stays at fullback. Tom Reed, Tom Harrison, and Chris Purdy return onto the bench. So I know you've lost Will Renard this week, Matty. You've lost Joe Davies as well, but you've managed to bring in even more experience, and it's a great like-for-like change.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the engine that obviously Will kind of brings is obviously fantastic, and you're probably not going to get someone with a work rate that what he does. But what Phil offers is that kind of strength and determination. He makes some good carries and gets us over the gain line for obviously the backs to kind of like use the ball, and Macon as well coming in for Joe. He was man of the match for the Vikings last week, so it was great to kind of reward that effort that he kind of put in for the Vikings away, and getting him back in the kind of side and the fold is fantastic. And we know that obviously James Long's kind of over his kind of injury from the back end of kind of Christmas as well, so he's chomping at the bit to try and get back into that first team. So it's nice for a change to kind of have a few kind of headaches and a few kind of conversations, because a couple of lads are missing out and wondering why. So that's obviously great for us, and I think us as a team, that's probably kind of building on our kind of Saturday performance, that the lads need to make sure that they have a good performance, and that way they kind of stick in the team. So otherwise, we're looking to kind of probably chop some changes and get other guys in there that are competing and doing well for the Vikings.
And just finally, Matty, a couple of new faces have made their way through into the Danesmen and the Vikings over the last couple of weeks. A couple of players who've come through our youth system at the club. I guess as the season progresses and we become to sort of the latter stage of the season, will you be looking to give them a couple of opportunities to maybe come in off the bench for the first team?
Yes, definitely. It's obviously a little bit difficult with the first team because we've only kind of allowed 3 subs, and they're obviously got to be rotational. So we need to make sure that when the lads are kind of ready, they're good to go. And we need to make sure that we've got that kind of experience around them to kind of help them out as well in trainings and for the Vikings over the last kind of couple of weeks, and obviously the Danesmen this kind of weekend. They've been kind of showing up and putting some great effort and attitude into kind of trainings and games. So I think definitely over the next kind of like 3 or 4 weeks, we're looking to hopefully get kind of at least one or 2 of them their kind of like first starts and show them a bit of taste of first team senior rugby.